You don't start a dream at the beginning. You just arrive in the middle of a mistake. It was evening or morning. The light didn't belong to a sun. It was just an orange stain spilled across grass that felt like dried wool. Behind me was the house, a single floor, weathered, splintered wood rotting in place. And behind the house, a forest that felt endless, standing like giant ribs against the sky. I was running, but running in a dream doesn't mean moving fast. It just means feeling heavy. He was behind me. He didn't look like a beast with claws or horns. He looked human, unnaturally large, broad shoulders, heavy limbs, muscular and thick, broad features, dark curly hair, an imposing presence. He moved with a quiet, terrifying entitlement, like everything in the field already belonged to him. I sprinted towards the walkway, towards the tree line. And there, right in the middle of the grass, open to the air, were beds. Massive, king-size mattresses laid out on the dirt path like a bedroom without walls. My friend was lying in one of them, completely still, unbothered, resting as if we were indoors on a Sunday afternoon. I screamed at her, but the sound stayed in my throat. I jumped over the edge of the bed, my feet barely touching the mattress, pushing past the weight of the air. Then I was inside the house. I don't remember crossing the threshold. Suddenly I was standing in front of him, negotiating. I tried to reason with him. I used words that made sense to me then, but sound like water now. Just let me go. We're done here. He just stood there, towering, looking down with a strange, passive confidence. Then my phone buzzed in my palm. My sister was outside. She said she was coming to pull up. In the panic, in the split second where escape became real, my fingers went numb. I dropped the phone. It clattered against the floorboards. I didn't pick it up. I turned and ran into the daylight. Behind me was his voice, boomed out. Not angry, just calling out to my sister's car. She left her phone. She's still inside. He was trying to trick her, trying to make her drive away without us. My sister's car was idling at the edge of the dirt path. She was starting to turn the wheel, ready to pull off. I grabbed my friend by the arm. She moved like paper, and we lunged into the back seat. The door slammed shut. No phone, no belongings, just us breathing hard. As the house receded into the dark background, we had escaped him. Or we thought we did. A car ride in a dream doesn't take you down a road. It just dissolves. The next thing I knew, we weren't in a car. We were standing in front of a square opening, a rigid cubic tunnel elevated off the ground, made of dark industrial metal. From the lip of the square entrance, lava was flowing. Not an eruption, just a slow, thick, glowing orange ribbon melting down from the top to bottom right at the door. Bright orange against the pitch black and cold blue metal. The rule was clear, even though no one spoke it. Crawl through the center, do not touch the edges. If the lava touches you, you stay. One by one, we dropped to our hands and knees. The heat radiated against my face as I ducked beneath the flowing stream. The space inside the cube was tight, narrow, metal above and below. I squeezed through. and emerged into the center of a long rectangular trailer. The trailer was split. The cubic tunnel cut right through the middle like a breach. To the right, there was a window frame, an opening in the wall, and standing outside that opening was him again. He hadn't followed us through the lava. He didn't need to. He was giant, cream-skinned, thick muscle, and fat, featureless under the dim light, his hair a mass of tight curls. He just stood outside the window, watching, waiting for us to fail. He didn't understand the room. He just knew there was a timer. Inside the trailer, items were scattered everywhere across heavy metal surfaces. On the highest shelf, near the ceiling, lay giant fish, sculpted, colorful, massive toy fish, each attached to an oversized keychain. They were too heavy to lift easily. You could only hold one at a time. There were paper sheets, metal locks without keys, geometric cutouts, and bottles of glue sticks. There were 3 or 4 of us in the room, but the others, they had stopped. I looked at them, silhouettes in the dark. One was looking at her hands, one was staring at the wall. They had given up. They didn't see the clock. We have to check in, I thought. We have to complete the sheet. At first, we had worked together, solved task 1, solved task 2, but then we hit the roadblock. I looked at the bottom shelf, glue sticks of different heights and diameters, small, medium, wide, stubby, and containers drawn on the paper sheet that matched those exact dimensions. I started matching them, small glue stick to the small outline, wide glue stick to the wide container, pressing them into place. 1, 2, 3. It was working. The marker sheet was receiving the input. And then I ran out. I needed 2 more sticks. I searched under the tables, behind the heavy metal fish, across the scattered papers. 2 missing glue sticks to complete the sequence and push the sheet through the slot. Without those 2, the marker sheets wouldn't validate. The lock wouldn't drop. I looked up at the right window. The giant man was still standing there in the dark. He didn't know how close I was. He didn't know I was 2 pieces away. He just stood there, motionless, waiting for the invisible clock to run out. The girl stood behind me in silence. The room remained dark, and the metal stayed cold. And I just stood there, holding an empty cap, waiting to wake up.